thank you to her, and if we can all give her a big round of applause for Jenn Garofolo. Oh, and then we're going to go to the video. I'm sorry.
I learned about Attitude in Reverse a few years ago through actually multiple people across the state of New Jersey. It's really interesting, as I think you're all aware, I have a child that suffers from severe mental health challenges and at a very young age became suicidal due to a trauma that happened to her. Through the various resources that I came across in my advocacy work, folks talked to me about this amazing group of people, Kurt and Tricia, who go around the state educating children out of all different ages to talk about mental health challenges and suicide awareness. My relationship with AIR began a few years ago when a very good friend of mine, Craig Kramer, was honored by the organization for the work that he was doing. I knew pretty quickly that I wanted to become a part of it, as I have become a national mental health advocate, speaking around the country on the challenges that face our children, as well as the caregivers that care for them in their community. What impressed me the most is the fact that Kurt and Tricia have developed curriculum that is age appropriate to really break the stigma and have children feel comfortable talking about the depression or the sadness that they're feeling so that they can help themselves and others. The impact and potential that I see for AIR is the curriculum that they're developing. It is so critical that we make this conversation a normal conversation, not one that is hidden behind curtains. The fact that Kurt and Tricia have developed something that is age appropriate and has unfortunately moved down to the elementary school level because the need is there is so critical to ensure that we're raising healthy children that feel strong in who they are, in their differences, and that it's okay to be sad, but not take it to the next step. The personal story that I'd like to share with you is the fact that my oldest daughter, Gianna, became suicidal at the age of 8. And this doesn't only impact the child, which is devastating in itself, but impacts everybody in the family. Craig and I have 2 other daughters and an extended family, of course, and people did not know how to respond or react to it, and we felt very alone. It's because of the work and conversations that AIR is stimulating that will allow for people of all ages to understand the fact that suicide is a reality and it can be prevented and it needs to be talked about and shared so that we can save others. What I'd like to say to everyone who's here tonight, including our sponsors and donors and those of you who are just supporting the event, is that you have no idea what your support means. To people like me and my husband and my children who felt so alone during our journey a couple of years ago, and it continues, mental health is not an easy thing to talk about. People say it's not like cancer, it's not a casserole disease, and that really does define it. It defines the fact that you feel so alone, you have good days, you have bad days, and to have people that are supporting this mission, to help make people aware of the mental health stigma that's out there, and that the importance about primary and secondary prevention of talking about it, to help people feel like it's okay to ask for help, is so critical, and thank you for all that you're doing to help this mission.
So when you talk about mental health, things don't always go as planned. This evening, my 3 children, specifically my oldest, was supposed to introduce me. But this is mental health. She came and hardly any of you were here. And she broke down. She was going to share her story. She wrote it out last night. And she suffers from severe anxiety, PTSD, and mood disorder. And she's 12. Everything that I shared with you before, I can't tell you enough that when we were first going through this when she was young, we didn't talk about it. We withdrew. We didn't know what was wrong. We thought it was our parenting. We were being told it was our parenting. And when we were proactive about it, the journey doesn't end. It's an everyday situation. And when you think about it and you think about your family, your extended family, your friends, whatever chronic disease they may have, whether it be cancer, whether it be diabetes, there's a mental health component to all of that, especially for the caregivers and the family that's going through it, and it doesn't end. So the work that these two amazing people are doing behind me, suicide doesn't go away, or suicide ideation doesn't go away. You have to work through it, and we deal with it on a constant basis. So thank you for all the support and work that you're doing.